sharing the love that's true and committed, and it feels so right.
Without you, it would be like waking up without the sun.
Her husband's name is Ford.
Oh, well, sir, well.
I have long loved her, and I protest to you, bestowed much on her,
Right.
followed her with a doting observance. Briefly, I have pursued her as love hath pursued me, which hath been on the wing of all occasions. But howsoever I have merited, whether in my mind or my means, meed I am sure I have received none, unless experience be a jewel that I have purchased at an infinite rate. And that hath taught me to say this: love like a shadow flies when substance love pursues, pursuing that flies, and flying what pursues.
I left my heart in San Francisco, high on a hill. It calls to me.
Down in the South, coming from Louisiana, is just a way of life. Music is just part of it, you know. I got little nephews that run in the house and chunk on the guitar and put it down and go back out inside and start playing ball. And I go, man, he don't even realize what he just played for me. But it's just like it's nothing to it. It's just natural fun to do that. So music, food, you know, good time. That's Louisiana.
When did you start writing songs?
Unfortunately, around early grade school, 3rd or 4th grade.
And why do you say unfortunately?
Because I have about 10 years of songs that are just going to haunt me and will hopefully never be discovered by anyone.
So so what was that, Jason? What was that?
Well, I own most of his back catalog, and they'll be on the internet shortly. So.
Oh, really? So how many songs have you written, Luke?
I don't have a number, but hundreds.
Yeah.
Stan, please introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself.
Sure. My name is Stan, and I'm a resident, longtime resident of Palo Alto, and I'm a professional watermelon seed picker.
Sounds exciting.
It is. It is.
Beautiful job.
It takes me approximately 2 weeks to work through one watermelon.
Really?
I take great pride in my job. Yeah.
Bass Shop, you know it goes. The hottest 30 minutes on TV. Hosted by Hugh Hef, a.k.a. Hugh Diesel. What up, Hugh? I don't know your show. My show's the Bay, my show's the Bay, my show's the Bay. Frisco, Oakland, EPA. My show's the Bay, home base San Jose. My show's the Bay, we scraping all day. Powder and yay, they getting it in the Bay. My show's the Bay, I'm here to get it today. The corporate rapper making corporate pay. My show's the Bay, my brand's the show.
Privacy. All we want is privacy.
Hey, you can have all the privacy you want, you know, tied to a post.
Whoa,
Tied to a
this
post.
one's getting a little hot.
Dig your hole,
So
do
let's
what you
summarize
want.
this
You know
one.
what? You just...
Okay,
Being unreasonable.
I'm going to take back control of this show because that was a little out of control.
Oh,
Tie him to a post, kick him out of the room, tie him to the floorboards. What's a chip? You be the judge.
Yeah, what is a chip?
This one,
No one ever
audience,
answered
we're
that
going to take to
question.
you. No, I backpedal here. We're going to take it over to our actual judges. Cheerleaders, what's your buy-in on privacy?
Ready? Y-O-U-T-H, go, you go. In the morning, when I rise, you are the first thing on my mind. And in the middle of the night, I feel your heartbeat next to mine. It feels like a dream when you touch me tenderly. But I know if you're real, hey, that I like the way you feel inside.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So tonight, yes, our show's title is Transformation, and we have a very special guest with us tonight, and I'll let Tamika take over from here.
Our special guest tonight is the beautiful Kim Weaver, and Kim just finished a collaborative book project called Transformations. So Kim, why don't you tell us a little bit about the book?
Okay. Well, the book was inspired by God. Going through my own life adversities and my failures and triumphs, I've always known that I had a special call on my life, and it was just a matter of answering to the call, and that call was to empower women.
And also, I know that you're a client.
I sure am.
Yes.
I sure am.
And look
she's
how
wonderful.
look how great this hair looks right now. You're wearing some enhancements.
I am.
She's wearing the Goddess hair extensions, the individual rings. They're adjustable, and she's had them in about 6 months. Adjustable, no damage, and these will last her about a year with maintenance.
Outstanding.
So the least damaging hair extensions on the market, and as you can tell, completely undetectable, even when worn in a ponytail.
Yeah.
You could never. Julianne's a very natural person, so she doesn't want, as a professional technician, she wants things to look like undetectable, and I'm the same exact way. So.
I think it's very important to have that.
People, it's nobody's business, but unless you want to share that with them, whether they've embellished anything.
And on that note, I would like to introduce Sabore. Welcome so much to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
And tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and a little bit about the tribe that you're from.
My name is Sabore Lokoye, and I'm from Kenya, East Africa. And in my country, we have about 42 tribes in the whole country. And I am one of the most famous tribes.
Yes.
In Kenya and also in the whole world. So that's the country that I come from and the tribe that I come from. And we are actually outside of the big famous Maasai Mara.
It's the Maasai.
We have 1/5 of humanity living in India now. So anything that happens in India happens on a huge scale. The last Camilla 12 years ago, they were estimating there's anywhere from 20 to 30 million people. Now they're saying it was going to be 30 to 40, but some people estimate as high as 70 million.
Yep, that's funny.
It's yeah.
It's the mother of all pilgrimages.
Yeah.
Now we have some slides of some of the early days at Apple, so let's go ahead and show the first one of those slides.
That's a photo taken by...
That's your book.
Yeah, that's the cover of my book, actually, based on a photo taken by a fellow named Norman Seeff around the time of the Macintosh introduction. That was taken in December 1983, and those are some of the key designers of,
That's
of
you
the
in
Macintosh.
the middle, standing up?
Me in the middle.
Well, my greatest fear, I don't know if it's Halloween or not, is paying taxes every year. Not so much the paying the taxes, it's not having the money and trying to explain, why don't you have the money? Because I had to buy stuff. So, to me, that's a pretty big fear because of the ramifications of not having the bucks, and the tax man comes in and goes, pay me, and you're going, I can't.
And we're using cumin seeds. When we cook Persian dish, we use ground, but this time we'll be using mustard cumin seeds, not the powder. And if you like spicy food, and I do like spicy food, I love spicy food, so I'm adding this magic ingredient, pepper.
Working with this group and working with Abilities United has really helped us in our gardening program. So the things that we do here, like the planting of the seeds and planting the seedlings up into larger containers, that prepares us for sharing more food with the community. One of our goals is to have people have more access to healthy food, and so this group really helps make that possible.
Just the machine itself, when it's empty, it's about 300 pounds. Plus it has another 400 pounds of dough inside the bowl. So now he's gonna put into, he's gonna attach to the machine.
Okay.
See? Lots of dough.
Oh my.
How about that? And then take a little chocolate sauce. Woo! You can't go wrong. Tell me that's not a dessert.
This is a little piece of what we do during the day, just after breakfast, just before lunch, you know what I mean? Have a look at this. This is us in action. That was me. And here's Simon's return. Look at that. Fantastic stuff.
And ladies, I want to let you know, the more you know about football, the more you know about basketball, the more you know about sports, the closer you are to getting married. Okay?
Exactly.
The reason, I'm saying, Sundays come up, we don't want to be bothered, don't talk a whole bunch, don't say a lot, please. You can just make a sandwich and just shut up. Your last and most important scenario. Your team is down by 2. You need a field goal to win the game. The coach is about to trot out the team's NRA. That's right, not real athlete, or also known as the kicker. Before the ball is kicked, you must do the following. Shibbity, shibbity, woof. Do it with me, please. Shibbity, shibbity, woof. For those of you who are scoring at home, the woof is actually silent.
We have a nice little voting system. I call it the thumb system. Aha. So we play a song. All right, who's for Eye of Capri? Well, thumb go up, that means it's in. Thumb goes down, definitely not in. Then some people like to put a little more emphasis. They use 2 thumbs. We like it, we like it.
All right.
And then also, we don't like it, no way. Then we also provide a middle ground.
Well, tell us, how did the Gaga Sisterhood get started? How did it get its beginnings? Tell us a little bit about it and how it got started.
I remember at my retirement party, I said to everybody jokingly,
When I retire, I'm going to start a social network for grandmas called the Gaga Sisterhood.
You said that then?
At my retirement party.
They say if you visualize success, it happens. That's important.
Well, I became a grandma in April of 2003. I actually witnessed the birth of my first grandchild.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I remember I was standing right at the foot of my daughter's hospital bed, and I saw Juliet, my granddaughter, being born. It was the most miraculous moment of my life. And I went completely gaga.
What did we find out?
Well, our intrepid reporter went down to the Gulf to try to get some information on how the spill cleanup's going and what's going on there. But we wanted to have a live TV roll-in feed with our reporter, but since all the information's been cut off because of the embargo, but we did manage to sneak a carrier pigeon up from the Gulf. And so here we go. And so we do have a note.
I understand. He looks like he didn't make it back.
No, he's doing fine. He just needs a little scrubbing. He'll be fine.
I'm really happy now to introduce Professor Stephen Schneider. He's a world-renowned professor at Stanford University, climatologist who accepted the Nobel Peace Prize on behalf of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, author of Science as a Contact Sport. Professor Schneider, welcome.
Thanks very much, Lorna and Carol, Michael, and the Media Center for having me. I'm the left brain guy. But there's something I learned a long time ago, which is that people have a lot of choices. And sometimes those choices are conflicting. How much do we care about how rich we are relative to the diversity of culture and nature as a legacy that we leave to our children and grandchildren? Those are value issues. And we guys in the left brain, we're not so good at that. And one of the things that's so important is to bring in the fusion that you're doing here tonight and that you can see behind me in this form of art, but there's other kinds. There's poetry, there's writing, there's art and philosophy, there's art and plays and movies and so forth. Because what art can help to do, not just with our right brain, can help to tell us from our reaction to how the artist presents things as to what really are our gut check values.
Let's take it to the stage.
What was the inspiration for that, Chuck?
Tell us that story again.
Yeah, we always like to hear it because it changes all the time.
Well.
So what's now the fourth step?
The fourth step is forgiveness. And as long as we appear to be living in this dimensional world of forces and time and space, you know, we're going to produce results and other people are going to produce results in life that are not, in the short term, completely balanced. It's just the way it is. And, you know, perfectionists have a hard time in this world.
So tell me, what is Dianic Wicca?
It's a revival religion, a revival back to European religious practices or spiritual practices before Christianity. So it's earth-based or celebrates the different seasons of the solar system. So back to agricultural practices of the folk, and that's what pagan means, is folk.
So next to me is Gwen, and Gwen has a film 100 a Day. So Gwen, just a few words about the title, 100 a Day.
$100 a day refers to the topic of our story, which is a story about an East Palo Alto resident, Rick Walker, who spent 12 years in prison for a murder that he did not commit. Once he was freed and found factually innocent of that crime, the state of California provides exonerees $100 a day for every day they spent wrongfully imprisoned. But just as his battle to find his freedom was a difficult struggle, so was his battle to receive his financial remuneration, because that $100 a day needs to be passed by the California State Legislature at the budget time. And we all know what a partisan battle that can be up in Sacramento. So that's what the title refers to.
So this next one reads...
This is the crow.
Right, it's
Yes.
beautiful, black, ominous crow. Who invaded you, Baghdad? Weren't you once as dear to me as my eye? Wasn't there a time when people lived within you, when being neighbors was a blessing? Then the crow came and divided them. How much grief can you endure?
Let's start with why you were in Haiti, and then give us what it was like to live through a 7.0 earthquake.
7.0 earthquake. Yes, thank you, Paul. And first I want to say thank you to all the people who were on edge when we were missing. My family and I were out of contact for a while, and people thought the worst, particularly my family. I got home and saw that they had a memorial set out for me. So that was,
must be a little odd, huh?
they were hoping that, the best, but obviously they thought the possible worst. So that's hard.
Yeah.
But Haiti was hard, and it's still hard.
And my question to you tonight is your faith in the storm or in the Lord? Recently, we've dealt with economical crises, and many different people are being laid off from their jobs, and families are suffering and coming to the end of their unemployment, and many find themselves in great crises. And my question to you tonight is is your faith in the storm that's arising in your life, or is it in the Lord that is over your life and who is able to handle the storms and waves that happen upon you?
Okay, everybody. It is time to fight back and keep your home. This is about foreclosure. And I know everybody out here who is listening to me knows somebody who has either been in the process and got out of it well, or either they lost their home. Everybody knows someone.
So Bea, do you have a comment or a question?
What signs should parents look for in their children to identify whether or not they're being bullied?
I think some signs are, spending more time alone, their grades perhaps dropping, not hanging out with their friends as much, maybe some depressive symptoms, really kind of withdrawing and pulling back from things that they're normally engaged in.
And your next slideshow is about lineage. It's called Lineage.
Right, and it's also similarly based on this piece here, and it's about the mental illness in my family, my sister's schizophrenia, and the silence in my family about not really talking about it, and then my fear that it would happen to me.
It's very scary, yeah. So let's have the piece.
Resting your deepest fear from the place inside your body where it lies tightly lodged requires the greatest love you can muster.
I'm only flesh and blood, but I can be anything that you demand. I could be the president of the United States, baby, or just a tiny little grain of sand. Is that any way for a man to carry on? Run around thinking that little loved one is gone. Trying to tell you that I love you, baby. I love you more than you'll ever know. I love you more than you ever know.
All right, look, I'm gonna finish it out like this. One love to David Lewis. He lost his life, you feel me? Pioneer in East Palo Alto, long-time mentor. David Lewis, you know what I'm saying? So I wrote this. It's not just it's for him. It's for anybody in here who lost something, you feel me? And this right here is called my love poem. Kind of parched. Yeah. Hey, after death rushed him, I reached out and touched him. Couldn't believe he was gone. Had to feel it on my own. The numbers wasn't wrong. The answer equal minus life. And trust me, I checked it twice. Look at his stomach and his chest, both absent of breath. No movement, like a concrete school bench. So far away from class, down by the broken glass, where the roaches pass through open trash. I pound his chest and I hoped he laughed with his joking ass. But he passed like hard questions in money class. Does God listen when the dummy asks?
How was it you found out about your son's death?
I was just on the phone with a friend of my younger son's mother, and we were talking about how every time she sees Paris, he's always so respectful, and something about his smile. And my phone clicked, and it was his dad. And when I answered the call, his dad basically just said, Paris is gone.
4 suicides in less than 1 year left the Gunn High School community stunned. According to one student, McKay Danes, the prevalent feeling among students was helplessness. So he took several measures to help his classmates deal with the tragedies. He coordinated railroad track watch groups at the site of the suicides. He called student meetings and made recommendations to the administration. Perhaps the most significant project was the creation of a Facebook group where students could reach out, discuss, and be there for one another.
Is it right that the state should be in competition for federal education dollars? I would think perhaps if there is money to be shelled out, maybe that money should go to the lowest performing districts in the states that rank the lowest. Why should states have to compete?
I think, President Obama's not on the show with us tonight, so we can't ask him, and neither is Arne Duncan, the U.S. Secretary of Education. But if either one of them were here, I think what they would say to you is, we want to help folks be successful, but we don't want to put money towards programs that we think can't succeed.
Now we play my way.
In, out, in, out, in, tea parties, out, crystal meth orgies. In, complexity. Out, complete overwhelm. In, glue guns. Out, Photoshop. In, reflective ambient light. Out. Hello? Hello, is anyone there? In, Helvetica Condense. Out, Futura Bold. In, facial hair. Out, disposable razors. In, Alexander Gerard and Butt Magazine. In, mutual masturbation. Out, IKEA, Bank of America, and General Motors. In, natural tones juxtaposed with vivid or fluorescent colors, offset by neutrals, perhaps charcoal gray. In, 2010. Out, 2012. In, out. In, out. In, going to the movies. In, sleeping with strangers. In, letting go. Out, hanging on. In, Paris. Out, Walnut Creek. In, exploring the world within. Out. In, sleeping, out, waking up.